#1 fishing games. Browning. Release, we find, you win. And Triton boats. We take America fishing.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, no, no,
Another bed right here. Both got
pre-spawn smallmouth in an area where there was some current. But a funny thing happened. On the way out of there to go get some lunch, we passed over there and we could see his head thrown in the dough. Well,
down, Larry. Going. I get almost as excited as you get.
no, no,
extra work when it's done. Of course, we got the onboard camera, HD GoPro, which are actually an underwater camera. We went in here, kind of dripping wet, so kind of wanted to do something a little different, mix it up and see what it looks like. That fish to be caught.
Yeah, no, no,
outdoors every week. Prizes, giveaways.
Outdoors is brought to you for and your quality and Triton boats.
You know, since 1997, you've seen
huge.
Rod box. I can actually store 12 rods and reels, 16 tackle boxes in there. On the passenger side, I've got another rod box that can be used for storage and up to you know, for me, spending a lot of time in the boat, the fuel system is so important, but always all the bass boats you've ever had is the sandwiches, your food, and the ice and everything soggy. They've actually designed it now with a lid system. you open it up, the drinks are in the bottom. They check out all the new features.
Yeah.
Not only the new QRS series, but the when you try these, while you're I got him. Ooh, that was a big one. Woohoo! Matter of fact, this is a big fish here. Big fish, big fish. This is what we're looking for. The one with it looked bigger than this one. Easy, 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 easy. Look at that one, big old fat belly on her. The bite that I'm getting is completely different from what Larry is. Larry went to a little Strike King crappie jig. I've gone to a little jig head and put a 3-inch curly tail Strike King. Just kind of a know-nothing. But my bite, because I've got heavier line on, a little heavier bait, is all current. They're seeing it, they're reacting on it. With this current here, all these little bait fish are moving in here, and wherever there's food, these fish are gonna follow. You know, whether there's some walleye in here, there's some pike, as you just seen Larry catch, but I chose to kind of keep my bait in the current, and when it comes out past the rock, they're gonna jump on it. Good one?
Yeah.
Josh, I got one too. A skule. I don't know where they come from. I'm gonna get right back in there. Little old 3-inch Strike King curly tail, fat curly tail grub.
He's about to go in the net here.
As you can see, there's a lake up above. They've come in here for some reason and kind of put a coffer across it, keep the lake level up there. So what it's done is put a lot of algae, plankton, bait fish in here. So with that said, these smallmouth and suckers and pike and walleye have all come in here. Now the other thing that's happened, we got here the other day and it was down in the 30s and 40s, it had been raining and had cooled the water temps, but we've had high skies, 70 degrees, and we're pretty certain that in some of these big bays out here that we can find some of these smallmouth bedded. So I'm gonna keep chunking and winding and see if I can catch one of these big pike or a big walleye. And when we come back from a commercial break, there's a good chance we're gonna be out on some of these flats looking for big bedded smallmouth right after this, Outdoors in the Heartland.
This segment of Outdoors in the Heartland is brought to you by Ford and your quality Ford dealers, and Strike King, #1 in fishing lures.
There he is, right there. Ooh, it ain't that zero.
That's calling your shot.
That's cool. Patience, patience. You got to get it right in the middle of the bed, drop it in there. Use a little bit of a weight where you can kind of control it and kind of aggravate them a little bit. They just don't want nothing in their bed. That pretty fish. That was a nice one. She has got a belly on her. Seen that when she turned her head. You know, there's only a week or two out of the entire year you can come up here and do it. And fortunately, all the stars lined up, and we're going to let her go. She'll be right back on that bed probably within probably 10-15 minutes. There you go, girl. You know what I started to say
before I caught that fish. I'm throwing this wacky style, and if you've never thrown a wacky style, what you have to really watch is what kind of cover you're going to throw it to, because I'm using a 4/0 offset worm hook, and I'm just basically taking it right in the middle and hooking it just like you would a night crawler. And that's how I'm throwing it. When you pull it, it goes like this and then springs back. So it's just basically just like you'd put a night crawler on, you throw it in there. I like to use it with no weight, especially on these shallow fish, because you can twitch it and keep it in the same place.
You know, sometimes when you're out hunting and fishing, you see things that are unusual. And luckily, if you have a camera with you, you catch some of these things. So while we're fishing in this inlet, we look up on the bank, and there's a bat standing there and walking around. Kind of unusual. All right, so there's a bat standing on the bank, and after catching a couple more fish, our camera guy all of a sudden tells us, hey, the bat is swimming across the cove.
It's like a mouse out there going.
These fish, remember I said they were biting voraciously? I wonder if he can make it across this cove without something getting him.
There's smallmouth following him. There he went. Bass got him.
Seeing a bat swim across the cove and get eaten by a smallmouth bass? Kind of unusual.
Now it's back on.
Got it.
Nope. And he got it in his mouth though. Now he does.
What you got to watch is wait for that bait to completely disappear. That little male coming out there after it. There's another one up there. Little guys, nothing of interest. Girl, we're going to let you go. You're going to swim right back there, and you're going to make lots of babies for the future. I like that. Larry, there's one in the bed right there. Okay. Now, Larry has kind of switched up on colors. He's throwing on the Strike King a big tube jig, and there's a bed right there. Fish is facing right at us. So we're going to see if they like that white better than they do this short truth.
Got him that time.
Like that white tube, huh?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's what you got to do. You know, when you get into a fish and you throw a bait in front of them 3 or 4 times and
You're
you won't
exactly
take it,
right.
sometimes you got to change up.
I figure if they weren't hitting the one you're catching, one would change, and it worked on that one.
Ate the one that was supposed to eat.
Brightly colored baits are so important. But on some days, a chartreuse bait might agitate them more than a white or vice versa. And when you can see it all happening right there before you, it doesn't take very long to figure it out.
There we go. Like that chartreuse. That's a pretty nice little fish there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a good one there. Come here. Come here. Easy. Well, as you've seen what we're doing, it's just that special first week of June. We've got a full moon that's went full just in the last 24 hours. And when that happens and water temperatures get up, we're right now in the low 60s, the mid 60s, them fish are on go. Now 2 days ago, we couldn't hardly find a fish on a bed, and that's how quick things can change. So it's a lot of fun. It's something different. It's kind of nice to be able to call your shot sometime, but not every fish you see are you always going to catch.
Important to put them back.
And the main thing is get them back in the water as quick as you can.
Please remember, release these big smallmouth as soon as you catch them. They are so precious. Did you know that a 4-pound smallmouth in these Shield Lakes is probably a 20-year-old fish? Just think how valuable that fish is, how long it took him to get that big. You know, if you're wanting to eat fish, my motto is, smallmouth are for fighting and fun, and walleyes, that's what's for dinner.
Right in front of the camera.
That camera looks like it's pointing at the dirt. You notice that?
Yeah, but that water's 3 foot deep there.
All right.
I had the pointing down, that's why we went back. Actually from here, hopefully it's got her in there. Little male peeing on the camera guy. I'll go right back in her. Here it comes. There it goes. Got it, dude. Got it.
Better quality too.
Not bad. Took a couple casts. Well, that's a nice fish. That's
Yes,
a nice
it is.
fish. Look at that. That's a pretty fish. Got some shoulders to her. She was up there shallow.
Sure wish we had a metal steak.
I do. Look at that. She is a pork chop. There we go. Look at old belly on her. That is absolutely beautiful. I'll go right back to you a little bit.
Another big one.
I knew I could catch her. That's a, there was a small one there, which was the male, and this was the bigger one was the female. She's a pretty good fish. Come on back here. Come on back here. I have to get down on my knees, I guess, for her. What a pretty fish. You know, there's another bay just around the corner that should be just loaded up. This is probably as much as this one is. I'll tell you what, we're going to go commercial break. We're going to pay some bills. We'll be right back with bed fishing, first big smallies, right after this, Outdoors in the Heartland.
Outdoors in the Heartland has been brought to you by Ford and your St. Louis Ford dealers, Strike King, #1 in fishing lures, Triton Boats, We Take America Fishing, and Gilbreth's Taxidermy, the official taxidermist of Outdoors in the Heartland.
Who catches it first? Okay, you lost. I love competition. Hey, you want to reel mine in? that was low blow. It's a good little fish. That fish was up shallow. I'm not certain. That white tube's good. Yeah, maybe it is. He's got him on. Oh, let's compare now since we got competition here and we both got fish on.
I pointed at the fish, told you you catch that.
I know. I'm being cruel.
You're hurting my feelings.
Hey, you're hurting my feelings. You know what's going on? My thumbs are getting hurt. Look at that. Yeah, I'm pretty fair.
We definitely are starting to get bass some.
Look at this. Mine's bleeding.
Now, I'm
I
going to
love
try
it,
and
though.
talk him into going to lunch.
You need lunch tomorrow.
So hopefully we're going to go eat lunch.
I've been telling you you need to go on a diet. It'll be a good day to start. I pull my pants up, I've lost so much weight.
Hey, I know we're catching a lot of fish, but I just want to slow it down for a minute and show you that there is a time in the spawning process where they're not going to bite very well. Here's some underwater footage we caught that day of a big female and a male on a bed actually laying and fertilizing the eggs. And when they're in this trance, they're not going to bite anything. And that's actually good, so they can go ahead and make the next generations the smallmouth bass.
Here's a deep one here. Right here. Some deeper beds like that. There's a whole bunch of them ahead of us too. Look at that. Look at that.
Hey, if you want the fishing vacation of your lifetime, you got to come up here. For Bob Richardson, I'm Larry Woodward, and we'll see you somewhere next week right here, Outdoors in the Heartland.